In the previous lecture, we have seen how to derive the formula from the master formulae, and then we have seen the formulae depending on the interval, and after that we have seen the formulae if I know the additional information about any function. Okay, so we have considered two things. One, the formulae with the interval, and the other the formulae with the known nature of the function. So if we have a function is a even function or it is an odd function, and then how the formulae change, that we have said. Okay, now let us see some more additional terms that we need to find the Fourier series. Okay, and in this lecture we'll try to solve some examples based on this. Okay, so let's have the additional formulae and the examples. So we need some more formulas like we have what is the value of cos of 0, cos of 2n pi. So that is going to be 1. Okay, so we can have, I hope this is visible to you. My screen is visible to you. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So we have cos of 0 is equal to cos of 2n pi is equal to 1. Then we have sine of 0 is equal to sine of 2n pi is equal to sine of n pi, and this is equal to 0. But we don't have a cos of n pi is equal to 0. So what is the value of cos of n pi? So we have it is minus 1 raised to n. Okay, so here without loss of generality we are considering n is a integer. Okay, so here what the value of n will have, n is a integer. Okay, now apart from this we have seen the formula for sine, and we have seen the formula for a0, an and bn, and you see that there we will always require the derivative of sine and the derivative of cosine, as well as the integral of sine and integral of cosine. So what we know is we know d by dx of sine of ax plus b. This is equal to a into cos of ax plus b, and hence I can write the integral of cos of ax plus b dx is equal to sine of ax plus b upon a. Also, we have the derivative d by dx of cos of ax plus b is equal to minus a sine of ax plus b, and hence we can write the integral of sine of ax plus b dx is equal to, we have minus cos of ax plus b upon a. Okay, so these are the basic formulas that we need to know. Okay, and now if I include exponential function with this trigonometric function, then what we can have? Okay, so we have the integral of e raised to ax into cos of bx plus c dx. So this formula already you have proved. So we get a e raised to ax upon a square plus b square, and we have here a cos of bx plus c and plus b sine of bx plus c. This is what you will be having. And if you have limits here, this term will be also included in the limits. And also we have integral of e raised to ax into sine of bx plus c dx is equal to e raised to ax upon a square plus b square, and here you have a into sine of bx plus c minus b cos of bx plus c. Okay, so if limits are there, this term will be also included in the limit. Okay, and now after these formulas, we have to see one more important formula for this. So we are aware of the by parts rule. Now we have to go to the generalized by parts rule. Okay, so we are aware of this by part rule. Now we'll go to the generalized by part rule. So what is the generalized by part rule we have? So integral u into v. So suppose u and v are the functions of the same variable, then the integration is given as u as it is integration of v minus the derivative of u and again integration of v, and then plus the derivative of u again, and the integration of v minus again the derivative of u and again integration of v, and so on the term. So here you need to be careful that the sign is going to be alternative plus or minus sign, and then what this suffix and what this what this subscript and what this superscript means, that we have to understand. So where we have un is equal to dnu by dx raised to n. So this is actually the nth derivative of u with respect to we are considering x as a variable of integration, and so with respect to n, whereas vn is equal to, okay, so it is n times integration of b with respect to x. Okay, so how it will look like? So for example, I can have v1. So what is v1? V1 is integration of v dx. What will be v2? V2 will be 2 times integration of v dx. Okay, so it is v dx, or that is integration of v1 dx. Suppose v3, then it is going to be 3 time integration of v dx and dx, or we can have this is v2 dx. V2 is 2 time integration, and that's why I can write this. So this way, this will be vn, which will be the n time integration. Okay, and hence we can have this. Okay, so this way we'll have this vn and the generalized by parts rule. Okay, so here we are done with the basics that we required to find the Fourier series. Okay, so here we need to be careful that the cosine of 0 and 2n pi is going to be 1, whereas cos of n pi is going to be minus 1 raised to n. Sine of 0, sine of 2n pi, or sine of n pi is going to be 0. Then we always be with the integration of either cosine or it is sine. So the integration of cosine is going to be sine x plus b upon a, and the integration of sine will be minus times cos of x plus b upon a. So these are very important formula to us, and hence we have to be careful for them. Okay, so we can have this. Okay, and now after we have the exponential function with this, so we can have the formula with the exponential function and a trigonometric function. This formula already you have proved. Okay, but now we have to use them, and now we have the generalized by parts rule. So this by part rule you can use in one go and find out the terms once only, so you don't have to write it or you don't have to use the generalized by parts rule again and again. So here the hierarchy for U and B, how we decide U and B is we have light or islet. Okay, so at the end we consider exponential function. Before that we consider trigonometric function. Before that we have the priority of algebraic, or this is polynomial function. Then before that we have the priority for inverse function, and the first priority is given to the logarithmic function. Okay, so this is what the priorities we have in deciding U and V. Okay, so islet or light both are valid hierarchies, or both are the valid priorities. And now we try to solve the example based on this. Okay, so we'll try to find out. So find Fourier series expansion of f of x is equal to x square defined in 0 to 2 pi with period 2 pi. Okay, so we have to go with the solution. So first thing that we have to write is let f of x is equal to x square be defined in the interval 0 to 2 pi with period 2 pi. Okay, so if the period is given, that's fine. If it is not given, that's not a problem. So this term is not having any worth, or this is just an extra information given to you. Okay, this is the period is nothing but the length of the interval. So if interval is given, we are easily able to make out what is the length of the interval. And hence here what we have is we have the general interval length of general length of the interval is 2l. So this is equal to 2 pi, and hence we get l is equal to pi. Okay, so we get the value l is equal to pi. And once I get this value of l is equal to pi, and then we know this is the value of c. So c is equal to 0 and l is equal to pi, then we know what is the interval we are able to choose, or already the interval is given 0 to 2 pi. Okay, now the another question here we have the function which is defined in the interval 0 to 2 pi, and now we got the clear idea that this function is neither even function nor odd function, and hence we are able to write the Fourier series. Okay, so we are able to write the Fourier series for this function as hence the Fourier series expansion for f of x is given as so what will have for the expansion f of x is equal to, yeah. So here we have a0 plus summation n running from 1 to infinity an cos of nx plus summation n running from 1 to infinity dn, and we have sine of nx, and this equation 1. Okay, so where we have a0 is equal to 1 upon 2 pi integral 0 to 2 pi f of x dx. So please be careful for the formulae and the interval. Okay, so we have an is equal to 1 upon pi 0 to 2 pi f of x cos of nx dx, and we have dn is equal to 1 upon pi integral 0 to 2 pi f of x, and we get here sine of nx dx. Okay, so this way we are able to write the formulas for the Fourier series, and now we have to evaluate this one by one. So I have given the equation number one to this Fourier representation of the function f of x, so that later on I'll calculate the values of a0, an, and bn, and put this coefficient values in equation 1. Okay, so we'll consider this one by one. Okay, then we'll have consider a0 is equal to 1 upon 2 pi 0 to 2 pi, and we'll have x square dx here. So 1 upon 2 pi, and the integration of x square is easy. So we'll have the integration of x square to be x cube. Okay, and this is going to be x cube by 3. So we get here x cube by 3, and it is 0 to 2 pi. So we can have this is 1 by 2 pi. We get here 2 pi bracket cube by 3. And for the lower limit minus 0, because x is going to be 0, so every term is going to be 0. So we can have 1 upon 2 pi, and this is 8 pi cube by 3. So here we can cancel 2 pi, and we'll be having here 4 pi square. Okay, so we get the value of a0. So what is the value of a0? We got a0 is equal to 4 pi square by 3. Okay, and let this the next equation number 2. Okay, so we can use this value of a0 in equation 1. So here we'll plug in that value, or here we'll put that value. Okay, so we calculated a0. Now our next task is to calculate an. So let us calculate this an. Okay, and hence we have an is equal to 1 upon pi integral 0 to 2 pi x square, and this is cos of nx dx. Now we can have this is u, and this is going to be v. Okay, and once you decide what is going to be u, what is going to be v, so we are able to use by parts. So we can write using generalized by parts rule, we get. Okay, so we need to understand how do we use the by parts rule, or the generalized by parts rule. So see here, you have u as it is, the integration of v minus the derivative of this term, and integration of this v1, then again the derivative of this term and integration of this v2, and so on. So one thing we have to understand is whatever we'll get in the previous step, we have to take the derivative or integration of that particular value. Okay, so here we have u is equal to x square, and v is equal to cos of nx. Okay, again we know the integration of cos is going to be sine, and the integration of sine is going to be minus cosine. Okay, so we'll have the integration using the generalized by parts rule as. So this x square remains as it is, and the integration of this cosine term. Okay, so the integration of cosine is sine nx upon n minus the derivative of this x square is 2x. Okay, and the integration of this sine is minus cos of nx. Already we have n here, so we'll have n square here, and then plus the derivative of this term is going to be 2, and the integration of this term is going to be minus sine of nx upon n cube, and here we have the limit of integration 0 to 2 pi. Okay, so that's what we have, 0 to 2 pi. Now we have to evaluate this terms at the upper limit and at the lower limit also. So you can see we have 3 terms, and we have upper limit and lower limit. So after applying the upper limit and lower limit, we'll have 6 terms. Okay, now the question is, how many terms will be useful for us? Okay, so if you write 6 terms, there may be some terms which will reduce to 0. And if you can omit this 0 terms initially, it will reduce your work. Okay, so what are the terms which will be 0 that we are able to reduce? So we have, since sine of 0 is equal to sine of 2n pi is equal to 0. So if you put 2 pi, this will become sine of 2n pi, this sign will become sine of 2n pi. If you put 0, this will be 0, this will be 0. That means sine is the vanishing term at the upper limit also, at the lower limit also. So all the terms containing sine will vanish. Okay, and okay, hence we have, okay, so what we'll be having? We'll have an is equal to 1 upon pi. And what will be the term here? This will be minus minus plus. So it will be 2x into cos of nx upon n square. This will be the only term remaining. So I'll tell you that don't be in a hurry to evaluate, because see, there were 3 terms. If you apply the limits, there would have been 6 terms. So out of 6 terms, we are sure that the 4 terms are going to be 0. So we omitted that 4 terms, stating the reason that sine of 0 and sine of 2n pi is going to be 0. So when you reduce any terms, so you must give the reason why you are reducing it, or why you are able to get it like that. And now these are the 2 terms only. So we'll apply the limits and we'll have the 2 terms. Okay, one for the upper limit and the other for the lower limit. Now let us apply and see what we get. So we have 1 upon pi. Now if I apply 2, so it will become 2 into 2 pi into cos of 2n pi upon n square, and minus this is 0. Okay, 0 because we have x here. So if you put the value of x is equal to 0, this every term will go 0. So you can see we were having initially 6 terms. So there were 6 terms. So 3 terms with the 2 limits. So this would have been 6 terms. So out of 6 terms, initially stage we have omitted the 4 0 terms, and now you can see the 5th term is also 0. So out of 6 terms, we have only one non-zero term. And that's why if you write these 6 terms together, may possible that you may commit mistake and you can have the another non-zero term which is not actually there. So in 6 terms, okay, we have yeah. So we have only one non-zero term, and hence if we simplify this, what you will get is 1 upon pi. So this is what you'll be having, 4 pi and upon n square, and we know that cos of 2n pi is going to be 1. So I can write here, since cos of 2n pi is equal to 1. Okay, and now this pi will get cancelled, and we are able to get this an. So we got an is equal to 4 upon n square. Okay, which is your next equation 3. So we got here an is equal to 4 upon n square. Okay, and now we have to think of what the next bn is going to be. So we got a0, we got an, and now we have to think of what this bn will be. Okay, so let us try to calculate the value of bn. Okay, and hence now we consider bn is equal to 1 upon pi integral 0 to 2 pi, and we have here this is x square into sine of nx dx. So again we can have this term is going to be u, this term is going to be v. Okay, so this I am writing for your understanding. In examination you don't have to write this u and this v. Okay, so we have this is going to be u and this is going to be v. So we can use the generalized by parts rule. So we can say using generalized by parts rule, we get, okay, so what you will be having here, dn is equal to 1 upon pi. Okay, and now you are familiar with this. So we have x square remains as it is. This is going to be minus cos of nx upon n. Then this will be minus 2x, and the integration of this term will be minus sine of nx upon n square, then plus the derivative of this term, so it is 2. Okay, and the integration of this term, so we'll be having cos of nx upon n cube, and here we have the integral from 0 to 2 pi. Now again we can see the sine term is there, so we are always able to eliminate this term by stating the reason. So since sine of 0 is equal to sine of 2n pi, and that is equal to 0, so we have Pn is equal to 1 upon pi. This is minus x square cos of nx upon n, and this is plus 2 cos of nx upon n cube. So n cube, and the limit are from 0 to 2 pi. Now let us apply this limits. So we get here 1 upon pi. Now if I apply here 2 pi, okay, so what we'll have, since I have cos of 2n pi is equal to 1, and also cos of 0 is equal to 1. So I'll be having minus, okay, so here I'll be having 2 pi bracket square, this is cos of 2n pi upon n, plus this is 2 into cos of 2n pi upon n cube. Okay, and then you'll be having this minus minus plus, we are using lower limit, so this is 0, and this is 2 cos of 0 upon n cube. Okay, so that's what we have, and we know cos of 2n pi is equal to 1, cos of 0 is equal to 1, so I can write this as 1 upon pi, and here I'll be having minus 4 pi square upon n plus 2 upon n cube minus 2 upon n cube. So this plus 2 upon n cube minus 2 upon n cube will get cancelled, and we'll have 1 upon pi minus 4 pi square upon n. So this pi will get cancelled, and you'll be having minus 4 pi upon n. So we got here Bn is equal to minus 4 pi upon n. So let this equation 4 we can have. And now we can see that we have obtained the values of Bn. We got the value of An here, and we got the value of A0. So I can put these values in equation 1, and then we are able to write the Fourier series expansion for the given function. So let us use this equation 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and then we are able to get the equation 1, which is the Fourier series expansion of the given function. So we can have from equation 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, we have what we'll be having, f of x is equal to, so a0 is equal to 4 pi square by 3, then plus I'll be having 4 summation 1 upon n square, n running from 1 to infinity, and here I'll be having cos of nx minus 4 pi and summation n running from 1 to infinity 1 upon n, and this is going to be sine of nx. Okay, so here we have to be careful that though the coefficient is minus 4 pi upon n, but the summation is running over n, so n should be inside the summation. Similarly, here for this n square, the summation is running over n, so this 1 by n square should be inside the summation, and whatever the constant terms we have, we can take that constant term out of the summation because it is common for all the terms. This constant term is common for all the terms, all these terms. This constant term is common for all these terms, so we can take that constant common term outside, and then we can write the expansion. So actually, this is the expansion. So what we get here, we get x square is equal to 4 pi square by 3 plus 4 summation n running from 1 to infinity. So we got x square. Now let us try to find x. Okay, so we are having find the Fourier series expansion for f of x is equal to x, where 0 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 2 pi. Okay, so we have the solution. Now, can you tell me whether this is even or odd function? The interval is given to you, the function is given to you. So, can you tell me whether this is a even function or odd function? What happened? You are not able to understand that this is even or odd. That's correct. Okay, so yes, you got the idea now. Okay, so what I wanted to convey that you got it now. Okay, so first look at the interval. So if interval allows you to test even or odd, then only we have to test. Otherwise, we don't have to test. So our interval is 0 to 2 pi. So we don't have to test whether it is even or odd function, and hence it is neither even nor odd function. So if it is neither even nor odd, then we don't mention anything. Okay, if it is even or odd, then only we have to mention. Okay, otherwise we don't have to mention anything. Okay, so that's correct. You got it now. Good. Okay, so let us see then the Fourier series expansion of this. So we have, let f of x is equal to x now. Okay, be defined in the interval 0 to 2 pi. Okay, this is going to be a close interval. So for integration, open or close interval, that doesn't matter. Here it is given equal to, so I'm writing the close interval in the define in the interval 0 to 2 pi. Okay, then we have the total length of this interval is again 2 pi. So 2 pi is equal to 2l, and hence you get l is equal to pi. Okay, so we got l is equal to pi, and hence we are able to write the Fourier series. Okay, so the Fourier series expansion of f of x is given as, so what we get here, f of x is equal to, we have a0 plus summation n running from 1 to infinity an into cos of nx plus summation n running from 1 to infinity bn, and we will be having sine of nx. Let it equation 1. Okay, now we need to understand what is a0. So where a0 is equal to, okay, 1 upon 2 pi integral 0 to 2 pi, and we have here f of x into cos of, and a0 is only f of x here. So f of x dx an is equal to 1 upon pi 0 to 2 pi f of x into cos of nx dx, and we have bn is equal to, okay, 1 upon pi integral 0 to 2 pi f of x, and this is sine of nx dx. Okay, so we got the formulas now. Let us evaluate this one by one. Okay, so we can have here, consider a0 is equal to 1 upon 2 pi 0 to 2 pi, we have x dx. So 1 upon 2 pi, here we'll get x square by 2, and the integral from 0 to 2 pi. So we have 1 by 2 pi here, and this is 2 pi square by 2 minus 0. So we have 1 upon 2 pi, and this is 4 pi square by 2. So we can have here, this is going to be 4 pi square by 4 pi. So this will be 4 pi, and this is going to be 4 pi square. So I can have only pi here. So we got a0 is equal to pi, and this is the equation 2. Okay, so we got the value of a0 here. Now let us think of the an. So we got a0. Now let us find what is going to be an, and hence we have an is equal to 1 upon pi integral 0 to 2 pi x into cos of nx dx. Now here again, this is going to be u, and this is going to be v, and so we can write here using generalize by parts rule. Okay, we get, so what we are able to get here, hence an is equal to 1 upon pi. This x remains as it is. The integration will have sine of nx upon n minus the derivative of this and the integration of this. So we can have minus cos of nx upon n square, and this integral is from 0 to 2 pi. Okay. Now, if you want to reduce the term easily, we are able to write. So we can write, since sine of 0 is equal to sine of 2n pi is equal to 0, and hence we get, so what we'll get here, an is equal to 1 upon pi. So this term will vanish, and we'll be having cos of nx upon n square, and here we'll be having 0 to 2 pi. Okay, so let us calculate 1 upon pi, and then this term is going to be cos of 2n pi upon n square minus cos of 0 upon n square. So we can have this 1 upon pi. Cos of 2n pi is 1, so we'll be having 1 by n square minus 1 upon n square, and this is going to be 0. So we get an is equal to 0. This is the next equation we get here. Okay, so we got the value of an, and hence we got the value of a0, we got the value of an, and now we have to calculate the value of bn. So now we consider bn is equal to 1 upon pi integral 0 to 2 pi x into sine of nx dx. So here this term is going to be u, and this term is going to be v. Okay, so once you identify your u and v, we are able to apply the by parts rule. So we can write again, using generalize by parts rule, we get. Okay, so what we are able to get is, hence bn is equal to 1 upon pi. Okay, Now we have this x remains as it is, and the integration of sine is going to be minus cos of nx upon n minus the derivative of x is going to be 1, and this is going to be minus sine of nx upon n square, and we have the limit from 0 to 2 pi. Now we know, since sine of 0 is equal to sine of 2n pi is equal to 0, so we have dn is equal to 1 upon pi. This is minus x cos of nx upon n, and this is 0 to 2 pi. Okay, so please don't be in hurry. Write down step by step, and after you write step by step, apply the proper limits. So we can have here is equal to 1 upon pi. Here this is minus 2 pi cos of 2n pi, and upon n minus 0 we get here, because we have x here, and we know, since cos of 2n pi cos of 2n pi is equal to 0. Sorry, cos of 2n pi we get 1. Okay, so we have this cos of 2n pi is equal to 1, and hence we got this value to be 1. So we get here as this is equal to 1 upon pi, and this is minus 2 pi upon n. So this pi will get cancelled, and you will be having minus 2 upon n. So we get the value of bn is equal to minus 2 by n. So this is the next equation we have. Okay, and now you can see that we got all the required terms. So we got bn, we got an here, and then we got a0, and hence we are able to use these values of a0, an, and bn in equation 1, and then we are able to write the Fourier series for this function. Okay, so we can write from equation 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, we have f of x is equal to a0, that is going to be pi. Then this an is 0, so that's why all the terms of cosine will not be there, and this is bn. Minus 2 we can have outside, and then we'll be having n summation over n running from 1 to infinity. This is 1 by n, and we'll be having sine of nx. Okay, so this way we are able to get the expansion for the function x is equal to pi minus twice summation n running from 1 to infinity 1 by n, and we'll have here sine of nx. So this is the Fourier series for the function x. So this way we are able to get the expansion of the Fourier series.